Remember, just after the last elections, the post-election violence, some people who were victims of that particular elections were the youth corps members, and I'm quite sure it's within your ministry, right?
Yes.
Now, well, we understand they are still going to camp pretty soon, in a couple of weeks from now, and loads and loads of them have started complaining, saying that they will reject postings to some certain areas that, well, they have perceived to be unsafe for them. What is your ministry doing in that regard?
Well, the issue of insecurity of youth corps members that we witnessed after the last election that led to the unfortunate incidents concerning some young people serving Nigeria has thrown up has thrown up so many issues regarding the NYSC, to the extent that some people were calling that the NYSC should be scrapped. It should be. I don't think the NYSC should be scrapped, and the president of Nigeria has said it, that the NYSC will not be scrapped.
You tell us why it shouldn't be scrapped, because some say it has outlived its usefulness.
I don't think the NYSC has outlived its usefulness. I think the NYSC still remain one of the major potent force for national unity in this country. There are other instruments, other vehicles we can use for that. But I think I visited Sokoto for the first time. I lived in Sokoto for the first time because I went to serve in Sokoto. And since then, I've not gone back to Sokoto. Maybe now that I'm minister, maybe I'll have reasons to go back to Sokoto. And I'm sure all of you served in different places outside there. And I think it's important. And let me give you another empirical evidence why NYSC is very important. A recent report says out of, I can't remember, the population of young Nigerians surveyed, only 25% of them identified themselves first and foremost as Nigerians. Only 25% of the young people surveyed see themselves first as Nigerians. Right? Majority of them, more than 50%, identify themselves first by their religion. Why is this so? I mean, there are different issues of citizenship, of relationship with the state and all that political scientists and sociologists can explain. But what I'm saying that it is a problem.
Can the scheme correct that? Can the scheme help in correcting that?
What the scheme alone cannot do that. But what the scheme has done over the years is that it has continued to expose Nigerians to the realities of similarities and sameness in different parts of the country. Right? So, and I'm saying that it's unfortunate. You know that in the past, the fact that you are wearing the NYSC uniform, people see you as a special Nigerian. They treat you with respect. Now, how come that the same uniform that used to attract respect now becomes a uniform that exposes you to danger? You see? So there's something critically wrong. The problem is not with the NYSC. The problem is that there are certain situations that have happened in this country that we need to correct. Okay. And that's why we are saying, but for me, as a minister for youth development, I think that the challenge of the NYSC goes beyond. The security is one major issue that we need to tackle. And like, as you said, the NYSC, another batch is coming in November. So we are focused on this issue of security. But there are other big issues around the NYSC that we must also answer, so that 2-3 years down the line, people do not continue to ask this kind of question whether NYSC is relevant.
Icebox, for instance, says, what is the ministry doing, or what are you doing, to encourage youths to become entrepreneurs as catalysts towards economic development?
Exactly the point, and that's the point. I once tweeted myself that if I had the power, I would ban for the next couple of years people writing CVs, young people writing CVs. I think the challenge is how do we get more people who are able to create jobs for themselves, and if we are able to get young people to write business plans rather than write CVs, then we'll be on our way to, But there is a lot of things there are a lot of things that go with it. One is that what responsibilities does the ministry have to provide to strengthen the capacity of young people, to be entrepreneurs, and different issues are implicated here. One is the entrepreneurship training itself. you have to provide a kind of training that enable young people to be owners of their own businesses, and that's what we are going to do. That's the responsibility of the Ministry of Youth Development, and we are going to do that going into next year. The second one is access to skill. Like I argued yesterday at the forum, people talk about lack of jobs, but I think the number one problem this country faces is not lack of jobs, it's lack of skills. Because I know there's so many jobs looking for skills that cannot get. I mean, I cited a report that says Nigeria loses $586 million every year in the construction sector alone due to the fact that we import artisans from neighboring the West African country. I think that has to stop. And the reason is that the Nigerian young people don't have the requisite skills, to take this kind of job and do them to the level that, So skill acquisition is another issue, but there is going to be a different approach. It's not my ministry delivering skill.